Good evening again from London. It's a bright summer evening here. And hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK, an official delegate of the KFA for the UK, and president of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics of the UK. I'm here today to denounce severely the great crime that has been committed by the South Korean fascist puppets and the human scum defectors, the crime of infiltrating COVID-19 into people's career and causing the COVID-19 outbreak in the DPRK. As revealed by the report of the State Emergency Epidemic Prevention Headquarters of the DPRK on the 30th of June, the cause of the outbreak of COVID-19 in the DPRK, which claimed 74 lives and caused damage to the economy, was the inroad of diseases into the DPRK from South Korea. Later, Kim Yo-jong, Vice Department Director of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, pointed out, and I quote, "Now that many countries in the world are taking more effective anti-epidemic measures, realizing once again the danger of the spread of the malignant pandemic disease through contact with the objects infected with the malicious virus, it is a matter of grave concern that the disgusting ones in South Korea stage a farce of scattering leaflets, banknotes, awful booklets and things over our territory," quote unquote. The facts are that the COVID-19 outbreak started in late April and was found to have originated in Gangwon province, more specifically Ifo-ri of Kumgang County, which is near to the military demarcation line which separates the DPRK from South Korea. It cannot be a coincidence that the outbreak originated in an area that is so close to South Korea. On the 25th of April and 26th of April, so-called defectors from the DPRK, traitors to the Juche motherland in South Korea, launched 20 balloons into the DPRK across the demilitarized zone. It now appears that these balloons carried objects infected with COVID-19. It is a logical conclusion that the outbreak of COVID-19 was probably caused by South Korea and possibly the US, because the US has used this kind of warfare before against both the DPRK and other countries. The DPRK had taken the most stringent countermeasures against COVID-19, such as closing the border. It was impossible for COVID-19 to get into the DPRK unless someone gave it a helping hand. We should always ask, Q bono, who stands to gain? Moreover, when any crime is committed, we always look at who had a motive. In this case, it is the enemies of the DPRK, such as the US imperialists, South Korea, and the vile defectors who hate the DPRK so much and want to do any harm they can to it. They saw an outbreak of COVID-19 as a golden opportunity to try and incite regime change in the DPRK and overthrow the socialist system. They calculated that at very least the DPRK would be forced to accept the fake humanitarian aid of US and imperialism, world imperialism, and to, quote unquote, open up and reform, thus destroying the socialist system. In their wildest dreams, the imperialists and South Korean puppets hoped that millions would die in the DPRK and that chaos and disorder would break out on a massive scale. Of course, thanks to the timely and correct measures taken by the DPRK government and party and armed forces, this did not happen. The release of the COVID-19 infected balloons by the defectors was quite deliberately timed to coincide with large-scale celebrations in the DPRK in April, on April the 15th, the Day of the Sun, and April 25th, Army Day, which would see large crowds and also the movement of people between cities, which would create conditions for the spread of infectious diseases. Some have tried to claim that the infection came into the DPRK via China. This is false. Firstly, the small amount of goods coming in from China were disinfected on both sides of the border and quarantined when coming into the DPRK. Secondly, the infection rate for COVID-19 in China is very low. Only 225,000 cases out of a population of 1.4 billion. However, it's a different story in South Korea, where 21 million people are infected out of a population of 51 million. So, more than 36% of the population in South Korea is infected with COVID-19, compared to less than 1% of the Chinese population. Therefore, on the statistical balance of probabilities, the COVID-19 outbreak in the DPRK is likely to have originated in South Korea rather than China. The deliberate spreading of COVID-19 into the DPRK constitutes a criminal act by the South Korean puppets, the so-called defectors and the US imperialists. It is basically a repeat of the biological warfare of the US imperialists against the DPRK in the 1950s. We strongly denounce this crime against humanity and call for the maximum punishment of those responsible. Let us defend the DPRK, let us defend the truth, and let's see those who were responsible for this crime brought to justice. It would be good if they could be brought before an international tribunal and tried and sentenced. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for your support. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel Songun 007 and to the affiliated channel Korean Friendship Association of the UK, and also look at our publications on lulu.com and check out our forthcoming events. We'd like more support from you at our events, both online and in real life. Thank you for watching. Evening is coming here quickly, so it's time to draw to a close. Have a great evening and see you again. Goodbye.